Allan, great to chat. We're going to start doing these sort of quarterly reviews every 12 to 15 games, sort of just get an update on what's going on at the football club football-wise, and doing the same with CEO Marcus Reynolds for sort of non-footballing matters. So, first of all, what have the first 4 or 5 months been like in the role as Director of Football?
Yeah, thank you. I think the really important thing for me is, I think this is a great concept, and the fact that we get a chance to kind of communicate and also to get to know people as well, not just in and around the club, but also in the community as well. So from a communication point of view, I think this is a really good idea. For me, my start at the club was incredible. I had such a good initial period, not only from the initial meetings with Dale, Asif, Marcus as well, but then getting to know the players, the staff, and the fans and the community as well.
And this isn't a new concept, Director of Football, but sort of what does it mean to you? What's the role look like so far?
So for me, this means everything. It's a massive, huge step forward for me personally, but also a huge sense of responsibility as well. So I think the role that I've got now is ultimately to support and guide the rest of the staff as best as I can, but then also to try and listen to what all these great ideas that actually go on in a football club, and then try and take those to the board and as best as possible bring those to fruition.
I don't think it's any secret the changeover there's been over the summer. Yourself came in, Marcus came in, David and Lou obviously as well. So how much of it so far, the job particularly over the summer, has been a cultural reset?
Yeah, so you mentioned the word change as well. So for me, there's been a load of changes over that period, and what we need to do is then realise that although I might see them as positive or you might see them as positive, actually that's not the same thoughts and feelings that everyone's having. So for me, there's three ways to look at it. You either really support it, you're indifferent to the change, or you're against it. So I think if you look at Asif, obviously the new role as Executive Vice Chairman, Marcus as CEO, myself as Director of Football, we've got a new head coach in Dave, new group of staff. So with all those changes, somebody's going to be sat there in one of those three groups, and I think what we've got to do is then appreciate that and then look at it three different ways. Can we really use those people in that positive group to harness that positive feeling? The guys who are in the middle, do we need to have a bit more time with them to work with them? And then the guys who are against it, we need to get an understanding of why, because there might be some really good reasons and ideas there that we can then use to try and support the other two groups as well. But then we've also had the change of league status, and that's really tough. So people then got to realise that again is a tough moment and a tough period. So all those different changes that have gone on, what we've got to do now is actually try and harness that and actually try and bring the group together.
I think subtle changes as well, which people probably wouldn't realise. It's obvious the playing squad differences, and then yourself and David coming in, but got Lauren Jones came in a few weeks ago from Southampton. Will obviously new head of recruitment over the summer. So is it almost like a new chapter for the club in many ways? Yeah,
so we've used the term fresh start. So for us to come in, when Marcus and I first started, we used that terminology a lot, and something else I've tried to speak about a lot recently is about writing a new story. So for us, it's our opportunity to do that, and we get it at page one. We really can do that. But then there's a lot of history that's gone on before that, and we have to appreciate all the good stuff that's gone on, try and capture a lot of that stuff, and obviously the group of people that are here that have kind of taken the club so far in such a short space of time. But then also all those new staff and some changes to the staff. Obviously we speak about Jake and Alfie's new role as well, and the way that other people be part of this football club to take it forward. It's really important. But you speak a lot about the people, and actually, again, you've got those different groups of people now at the football club, either that have been here for a long time, been here for not so long, and those who are new to the club as well. So we really need to harness all those kind of three groups and again bring them together.
And obviously we're recording this down at Stanley Park, and the fans probably don't see a lot of it just because of where it is. We're away from the county here, but a lot of changes have sort of happened here as well. We're in a gym that was sort of redone over the summer, and there's a new marquee going up as well to sort of be a fix until we get to Eco Park. I just wonder if you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so firstly I have to thank Dale and the support that he's actually given not only me and some of the ideas that I've had, but also to try and bring some of these things to life, because it takes a huge back in, and he's done it for a number of years now, but also he's done it in the short term as well for me. And it's allowed me to kind of bring a few of the ideas that either I've had or, again, the staff have had, and bring them to life over the last few months. We're sat in obviously the revamped gym at the moment. It's been here for a couple of years now, but obviously we've come in, put a load of new equipment in place. We've got the new marquee, as you mentioned, just coming up. Again, that will again expand the gym, give us a new meeting room, new physio room, again loads of new equipment going in there. So actually all that stuff for me is around trying to make the club, try and put the club on a level for me that should be able to operate, and a player should walk in here and go, do you know what, they're at the point where we want to be in this environment for longer. They want to stay here, they want to be here, they enjoy where they are.
I don't think people will understand just how important that might be for, like you say, for players sort of mixing and just everyone coming together a little bit more.
Yeah, so I think the training ground, this is where people spend 90% of their working week. So actually, if you look at the group of staff and players, it's really, really important what goes on here at this training ground. So one of the things I first saw was there's no communal areas. And I think the guys during the summer, it's been great because we've been able to sit outside and the catering's been great. But actually, we sit outside, we sit on picnic tables, and there isn't a communal space to eat. Now that's something we've tried to address. The change rooms are fragmented. So actually, where do these guys come together? Very often, the only place is actually outside on the grass. Once they come off the grass, again, we just need to find some more spaces where this group are actually working together, eating together, using the gym together, and a few more social spaces and a few more places where the guys can sit, rest, eat, and recover.
And let's talk a little bit about Eco Park. How involved are you with that, and where is the club at with that at the moment?
So Eco Park is a hugely exciting project. So for me, from my perspective, we have a weekly meeting to discuss and go through the updates. And at the moment, everything's progressing really, really well. I think the big change that people will start to see over the coming weeks will be the pitches. And there's been a big bit of investment there into the new pitches that will go in. And after that, obviously, it'll be the buildings and the structures that will start going up around it.
And how sort of exciting is the whole project? And I suppose, while it's great down here at Stanley Park, to have that home base at some point where everyone is together will be huge for the football club going forward.
Eco Park's going to be amazing for the football club, and I think it will put the club on a completely different level. I think the access that you'd have to the training ground, the access that fans will be able to have to that area, but also the support that will be in place around it. It's obviously near the stadium at the moment, so to firstly get the training ground into Eco Park, but then over time, obviously, what it will do for the local community with regards to the stadium, the businesses, and having the whole club on one site.
And we'll catch up again, Alan, in sort of 12-15 games time around that festive period. But what does success look like to you at Forest Green Rovers? I'm not talking about any sort of timescale in particular, but for you, what does success look like?
So one thing I've really been strong on is the fact that this is a long-term project for me and everyone involved. So I think the success firstly will come through consistency, so consistency of actions, behaviours, but then there's three things that I really look at. The first one is creating a team. Now that doesn't just mean the team on the pitch, that means the team of staff, that means everyone involved. Really, really focus on that kind of collaborative process and actually everyone being together. The second thing for me is around processes and systems and making sure that we're at a point where we're not just operating at kind of League 1, League 2 level, but trying to look beyond. Can we operate at a championship level at least in some of our systems, processes, in our facilities? And then lastly, it's about our style of play. So I think the appointment of Dave and Lou and the group of staff that we've got here now is really exciting because actually now it's going to really stamp our style of play on this club. And this is a club that's been known for playing good football. And if you look at our pitch as a start, there's a reason why that's like a carpet. And the work that Nick and the team do there is to make sure that we can exercise the style of play. And it's something Dale's really strong on. So the third thing for me is about style of play and really having that as core to our identity.
Alan, thank you very much, and we'll look forward to catching up again around Christmas period.
Thank you, Laurie.